Okay, so for our sound-based focus, we're looking at the p and the phonemes, and we're going to be using P, double P, R, double R, or WR to be able to construct those words. So just have a look at your list words. Once again, you can obviously see that the turtles will be the more simplified words and the clouds will be the more complex. Go onto your sound waves and have a go at one of the games. What I would then like you to do is just focus on the phoneme for this particular task. I want you to find words around this image just by adding a text box and spelling those words out. They all will have either, for example, the pizza will have the sound either at the beginning, middle, or end. If you want the word to stand out, just highlight it there. So, for example, you can see the word pizza. Have a go at maybe finding at least 15 words that have the sound there. For reading and writing, we're going to be focusing on a famous landmark of Sydney, which is the Harbour Bridge. Now, a landmark is just something that is interesting or important to a particular place, and a lot of people will think about that particular landmark when they think of a place like the Statue of Liberty. In Australia, we do have quite a few. We do have the Sydney Opera House, we have the Bell Tower in Perth, and we also have the Parliament House. That's just a couple of the man made ones. We have some natural ones too, like the Great Barrier Reef or Uluru over here. Okay. Now, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which is one of our most popular, is actually found in Sydney, in the Sydney Harbour in New South Wales. It is one of the most famous bridges in the whole world. Now, the purpose of the bridge was originally because people of the northern and southern shores of Sydney Harbour needed a bridge in order to connect. And in 1992, the government started to accept some designs and in order to build that particular bridge. It was Dr. John Bradfield that whose design was actually chosen for this particular bridge. One of the main issues that they came across was the bridge was actually made out of steel. It's actually quite a difficult material to use because it does expand when it gets hot and it contracts which means gets smaller when it's cold. And because of Sydney's weather, the steel bridge will extract and contract based on the season. So the engineers had to actually make special latches so that the steel is able to move. We won't feel the movement, but they're able to allow some type of movement so the bridge itself can stay quite sturdy. The bridge began to be built in 1925 and the roads and platforms were built in 1931. It was completed and opened in 1932. So it took quite a few years for them to actually build this particular bridge. You can now climb the bridge. So from 1998, it was open to allow people to be able to climb the bridge. And maybe when you're a little bit older, you'll get to do that. It does serve a purpose in allowing traffic flow throughout the northern and southern shores of Sydney. However, it's also quite popular, especially during the New Year's Eve events. You might have seen the fireworks before. It is very popular amongst the world, and a lot of people travel to Australia to see our amazing landmarks and man-made features such as the bridge. What I'd like you to do now is go back and review the text and answer some of these questions here. So, what is a landmark? You would find that in the text. Where is Sydney Harbour Bridge located? Who designed the bridge? Well, I'm actually going to say why, not why was still used. I'm actually going to change it to what issue arises with the use of steel in building the bridge. Now remember, it had to do something with the seasons of summer and winter when it gets really hot and cold. When was the bridge completed and what was the purpose of the Sydney Harbour Bridge?